What is this in connection with? This is the transaction.
Our Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for the great day we had today, and thank you for the opportunity to live in this great county, in this great state, this great country. We ask you, Lord, to be with our servicemen and women around the world that's protecting our right to do what we're going to do today. Is we look out for the citizens of Carroll County, the best interest of them. And just thank you for everything you do for us. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now call the meeting to order. I've asked anyone in public comment if you want to speak. You got 3 minutes. Please don't speak on what someone else did. Also, Quorum Court members, respect each other and wait till I get through and raise your hand with you. And be acknowledged. Respect your fellow man. Please. Jamie, would you call it to order?
Mr. Deaton?
Here.
Mr. Hall?
Here.
Mr. Howerton?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. McNeely?
Here.
Mr. Mills?
Here.
Mr. Olson?
Here.
Mr. Phillips?
Here.
Mr. Reed?
Here.
Mr. Ritchie?
Here.
Mr. Swafford?
Here.
Thank you.
That's the full house and that's all living room. Next item of business is disposition of journal proceedings, approval of previous minutes, any additions or corrections. Larry moves to adopt, Dale second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Next item of business is public comments, 3 minutes. Yes, Ms. Posey?
Yes. My name is Virginia Koza. I live on County Road 236, which is west of Eureka Springs. And this was, December the 27th, was our 4th time to go through a flood. And we came to you after the first major flood in 2008, asking for help with the federal flood insurance program. And at that time, the feeling seemed to be, well, it was a 100-year flood, which we've had 3 more. And it also was not good for the farmers. Well, we have farmers over on 187 on Butler Creek that have lost pasture land, barns, outbuildings, and the county had a massive road and other problems over there. We also had a winery that was wiped out along with his vineyard, and other property down. it had nothing to do with runoff or release of water from the dam. It was all runoff from a deluge flood. We are back to ask you again to reconsider allowing us to get in the federal flood insurance program, because we have been through all of these floods. We have no other recourse. Our family has had over $150,000 worth of damages we've had to take care of. Unbeknownst to us, the 911, reverse 911 had been discontinued 2, maybe 3 years ago. So there was no way to notify property owners unless we got word from the court, and a lot of people were not aware of what was going on. So we were fortunate that we were able to get some names that I had kept from 2008 and work with my fire department and neighbors, and that we were able to notify those people. And gentlemen, we have a real problem over there. We understand where the farmers are coming from, but we also are part of this county, and we feel like that we are not being heard and considered, and we would appreciate it if you would reconsider and allow us to be in the FEMA flood insurance program. We're only one of 3 counties in the whole state of Arkansas that does not have federal flood insurance protection. Now that's sad. That is really sad. Thanks.
Ma'am, can I have you spell your last name, please?
Yes, P-O-Z-Z-A.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Not for moving on.
My
Didn't see your hand.
name is Anna Strickers, and Dr. Bassman is probably all aware of me. I just wanted to reiterate that nothing really is being done there on Greenwood Hollow, County Road 301, that's also Greenwood Hollow Road. And I'm certain, I just think you know, we're just not addressing the garbage problem, the waste problem, the unused trailers and automobiles on blocks. It seems like the only thing we address is hazard waste. Since I talked to you, I also contacted the ADEQ. I also contacted the Ozark Mountain Solid Waste Department, and of course the Health Department had already been called, even though I didn't do that. I presented you with, as you know, the petition with 29 people signing that, and that was just from the County Road 301. It was not anyone else, but it's a problem. After the fact, last meeting, some of you come up to me and said, I have that same problem just right outside of Holiday Island. I have that same problem. I think a lot of times that you think that the people that you're representing don't want some kind of an ordinance, but they do. They want it to be addressed. We want to stay the natural state. And if you go down Highway 62, you go down on any of the roads, they're main roads, 301, any of the big roads, you find this. But I am talking specifically about Greenwood Hollow Road. It's only 200 feet from the school. And there was already one on Stopple Road that was taken care of. Her name is Mrs. Stopple. This man's name is James Shaporis, and he lives at 25 Eureka Street. He doesn't even live on the property, but he just insists on bringing all of his junk over there. And junk is junk. There's a trailer with no windows, doors. There's 9 vehicles that are just parts that are up on blocks. There's transients coming in there, just staying in the trailer, and he allows it. There's 9, I showed you the pictures last week. There was 19 feet of just garbage bags that, yes, they put their garbage in bags, but it's just laying there. And nobody seems to be taking this seriously. And I notice you don't have it on your agenda, and Lamont and I have been working, well, no, he's been working very hard trying to do the things that I can't do. And he does have some laws that are from Arkansas, and hopefully maybe next time he can put us on the agenda or, you know, to get something going, because I don't know where to go from there. And that's what I'd like to know, is what I can do to go on from there. Thank you. Okay?
Thank you.
You wanted a question?
I'm sorry, I didn't see
After
that.
that, what did ADA do? So you contacted them?
The EQ said that they would be back in 21 days, that he has 21 days to pick up the garbage and to pick up the burn pile. And, but that's just the beginning. That has nothing, I mean, the burn piles are just nothing. He's got the tires, the rims, the vehicles, dangerous situations. But that's all they did. They'd be back in 21 days.
John?
What did the health department tell you happened?
Said exactly the same thing. They also went out, and Scott from the sewer department, he went along with the health department, and he said that he did not see any raw sewage coming from, there's 9 trailers in there that are living. People are living in there, paying, not paying. But he said he doesn't know. At one time, many years ago, it was a trailer court. And so maybe they, sewers there are still in working and going into the leach lines, or just going into the ground in a big hole. But the health department said they could not find anything, that the only thing they cared about, only thing was hazardous waste, which was paint and fuel of some sort, and sewage, raw sewage. And so there I am. I'm in the same place where we started last month.
Any more comments from JP?
Yes, sir. Well, I have to clarify a little bit. It's not entirely correct that there's nothing being done. These things don't happen in a vacuum, nor do they happen overnight. There are limited provisions in Arkansas law that allow municipalities and counties to control what somebody puts on their private property. Subsequent to the last meeting, I contacted Devin. She found a couple of state laws that deal with junk and trash, one of which authorizes the county to issue a citation for this. But given the section in the state code where it's located, it is under the executive section rather than legislative. So even though the state law says that counties are authorized, there needs to be a local law in order to control this. Devin and I have talked about this. We are working on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more public comments? We'll move on to the next item of business.
Judge?
Yes.
I would request, I move that we amend the agenda. There was a personnel matter that came up in the past several days which requires the JPs to sit as the grievance committee, and I request that we add this to the agenda at the time following I under new business.
Is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
Second? John, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So moved. So now we go to miscellaneous.
Judge, I have Linda Mayella here. Linda represents an organization in Carroll County called the Purple Flower, and it's an organization that is designed to provide resources and support for victims of domestic violence. This organization came about because of a very unfortunate incident we had in Carroll County a few years ago, and we didn't have a cohesive system where information was available to victims of what was available in Carroll County regarding domestic violence. And I asked Linda to come here tonight to visit with us and tell the Quorum Court about their activities and their needs.
Okay, you have 10 minutes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm here to talk about domestic violence in Carroll County. A few years ago, there was a domestic violence murder in Carroll County. And I met Laura's mother on the way to her daughter's funeral. She had stopped at the cradle where I was volunteering for some baby items for the grandson that she would now be raising. My heart broke for her. As I tried to hug her, she asked me to go with her to her daughter's funeral. I went to the funeral, and the next day I went to the burial. And then I went to help her every day after that, sitting with her, doing dishes, holding babies, paying bills. In a way, this is when the Purple Flower began, because it was then that I learned about what Laura went through as she tried to leave her abusive boyfriend. I learned that there were no services in Carroll County at the time of Laura's death. No shelter, no support of any kind, nothing to help a woman leave her abuser, nothing when a woman was most in danger. So we decided we had to take some action. No domestic violence support in Carroll County was unbelievable to me and unacceptable. Doors opened slowly. Brave Woman, a nonprofit with a mission to change communities' understanding of domestic violence, helped us obtain grant money from the Carroll County Foundation. With it, we were able to establish the first model for helping women in rural communities get to safety. We called it the Carroll County Safety Network. We made connections with shelters in the surrounding counties, and we set up an exclusive hotline for Carroll County domestic violence calls, 844-24-PEACE. It has been answered by a trained advocate at Serenity Shelter in Mountain Home since we began last year. Our hotline is listed on the new lethality assessments used by the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and Police Department. If a woman decides she is in danger and needs to leave her abuser, she will be helped to find a shelter with availability. If she doesn't have transportation, our Carroll County Safety Network coordinator will be notified to locate a volunteer driver to bring a woman and her children to a safe shelter. All our drivers have had background checks and Arkansas Coalition Against Domestic Violence training. Drivers are only sent into situations that are safe, meaning that the abuser has been arrested and the police remain present. The Carroll County Safety Network hotline is only one of the services offered at the Purple Flower. Other resources offered are help with filling out and filing a petition for an order of protection in a safe and private setting, help with safety planning, court support, legal aid referrals, and other community resource referrals. Our newest resource is an empowerment support group open to all family members affected by violence. We have made much progress since opening our little storefront on Springfield Street in December of 2014 with help from Mayor Tim and Bobby Thurman. And local attorney R. Dawn Allen offered us help with filing as an Arkansas nonprofit. And just this week, we received our 501c3 status, which will allow us to begin our own grant writing. But in the meantime, we have relied on private and church donations, large and small, and fundraisers. We have 2 fundraisers coming in early April, organized by 2 young high school students, 2 young women who chose us as their senior capstone project. We are so impressed with Danny Faith Brewster and Danielle Gropius for their commitment to serve the Purple Flower. Their fundraising dinner at Kings River Church will be held on Saturday, April the 2nd at 5 o'clock. And the following Saturday, April 9th, they will hold a car wash at the Berryville Community First Bank. And then on Wednesday, April 6th, from 11:30 to 1:30, we will host an open house at our new location across the street from the courthouse here in the old bail bond building. We invite the Carroll County community to visit with us and learn about our services. You would be surprised at the progress we've made in transforming that historic building. All the labor is being donated by a dedicated team of husband volunteers. They're great. The Purple Flower exists to help, to support, and to encourage. We exist to empower brave women who need to know that they have rights and they are not to blame. In our first year, we were able to help 33 women in crisis with orders of protection, with transportation to shelters, with court support and safety planning, and with community resource assistance. But here's the thing, we are a totally grassroots volunteer effort. So it's up to all of us, all of you good people of Carroll County, to stand with us so that we can continue this good work that has begun here. We need you to dare to say no more to violence against women. A small monthly donation will help us offset our costs for rent, utilities, printing costs, for our brochures and signs. We have 2 donated billboards, but we need many more to get our 800 number visible to women who are in crisis, to give them hope and help. With your help, we'd like to have our hotline number placed all around Carroll County. We need you to be aware of the domestic violence red flags that are all around us. Please share our information wherever possible, especially with women who you might suspect are in need of support. We need you to care. Let's all work together to end domestic violence in Carroll County. There are best practices that other communities in the United States have used to stop domestic violence. And research has shown that these best practices work. We need to educate ourselves and our whole community and make it happen in Carroll County. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Next item of business, Chuck, you want to announce it?
Michael Bordengasser. Is Michael here today? He's not here, Judge. Michael Bordengasser is the coordinator for the state National Flood Insurance Program. He's going to talk to us about the pros and cons of the program, but Michael is not here right now. Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? You'll have to then. You have your hand up?
I came to hear him.
Pardon?
I came to hear him and what he said.
Yes.
You think you can get him back next time?
I can try, yeah. I sent him an email confirming that he was going to be on, but he apparently something came up.
Okay, thank you.
Judge,
John, you want to?
Judge, Mr. Lance decided not to take this time, just say what he got to say also.
Okay, thank you. Next item of business is old business. We have none. First item of new business is the hearing of my question for.
Okay, at this time, I move that the justices recess into executive session.
Okay. I need to ask you all to leave the room. We'll call you back when we get through with this.
So I apologize. I think that was going to be numbered today.
Let's do it now.
Let me sit down.
Okay.
Well, after I...
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's right, yeah.
I thought we did all that.
It's in motion.
Okay, the Quorum Court met as the grievance committee to consider a request for a grievance hearing from a Mr. Matthew Arvell. I will entertain a motion to either grant or deny the hearing.
I move that we deny.
Second.
Okay. Can we take a roll call vote on this? Yes.
Voting on the motion.
We have a motion to deny the hearing. Deny the request for a hearing.
Call for the vote.
J.P. Deaton,
Yes.
J.P. Hall,
Yes.
J.P. Harrington,
Yes.
J.P. Johnson,
Yes.
J.P. McNeely.
Yes.
J.P. Mills,
Yes.
J.P. Olson,
Yes.
J.P. Phillips,
Yes.
J.P. Reed,
Yes.
J.P. Ritchie,
Yes.
J.P. Swafford.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passed. Next item is under new business. Under A, would you read that, please, Mr. Chairman?
Being enacted by the Quorum Court, County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled. An appropriation ordinance appropriating Northwest Arkansas Economic Development District, Inc. General Improvements Fund grant program money is awarded to County General Fund 1000, Department 0500, Office of Emergency Management. Whereas Carroll County has been awarded $5,000 from a General Improvement Fund grant program. These monies need to be appropriated to pay for grant purchases. Now therefore being enacted by the Quorum Court of Carroll County, Arkansas, Section 1, the sum of $5,000 is hereby appropriated to Fund 1000, County General, in the matter set forth below. Department 0500, Office of Emergency Management, line item 2023, Parts and Repairs.
Move it up. Second.
Move it up, where it's second, any discussion?
Jim, this is money that's next time they applied for, if you remember correctly, the budget committee did cut his budget some on buying the new truck, and he was able to obtain a grant to finish and put the new truck for the radio online.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Harrington?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Thank you.
Passed. Ordinance passed. Next item of business is under B. Would you read that, Mr. Chairman, please?
Be enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled. An appropriation ordinance following up on resolution number 2015-5. Whereas the Grassy Knob Fire Department has received $8,400 in grant money for equipment from the Arkansas Economic Development Commission. Now therefore, the sum of $8,400 is to be appropriated into Fund 3503, Grassy Knob Fire Department. Department 0502, line item 4004, machinery and equipment.
Move these up.
Chuck moves it up. Second. 2 seconds. Matt? Any discussion? Yes?
This is a grant, a 50/50 grant to equipment fireboat, which firefighting equipment that we need to protect some of our shoreline and also the marine that's in our motor.
Anyone else? Call for vote.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Harrington?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie,
Yes.
Mr. Swafford.
Yes.
Ordinance passed. Next item of business is C. Would you read it, Ms. Jamie, please?
Be enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance amending ordinance number 2015-28, the 2016 budget, and appropriating $212,000 into Fund 1800 Courthouse Fund. Whereas the county has been renting the property that houses the prosecuting attorney's office, and the said property is for sale. The county has continuing need for this property. Whereas the County Finance and Budget Committee unanimously gave verbal consent for the county judge to enter into negotiations to purchase the currently occupied property. Whereas the building purchase is $210,000 plus an additional one-half of closing costs. The county would appropriate up to $2,000 for said closing costs. Now therefore be enacted by the Quorum Court of Carroll County, State of Arkansas, that the sum of $212,000 is appropriated into Fund 1800 Courthouse Fund, Office 0111, line item 4002, buildings.
Move to adopt.
Second. Who second? Got second. Any discussion?
This is that the building they're in now, that they're using now? That thing's working hurt? Something kind of wrong?
It's borderline, but we're paying $30,000 a year rent on it. They're paid for itself in 7 years.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And by that time, if we're doing something else, we should be able to get most of our money back out of it.
Lamar?
It also avoids extensive renovation costs on other things that we've looked at, and they will have access to a building on the property for on-site storage, so, which is something that they don't have now. They have off-site storage, they will gain that, and it suits all of their needs. I think it's a great idea to leave them where they are.
Yeah.
And it's within walking distance of the circuit judge's office, and if they're on a health kick, there's another courthouse.
Any more discussion? Joe?
This has been going on for quite a while, about this building and so forth. It seems like, with the rent we're paying, it'd be better off to buy.
Anyone else? Call for the vote.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howerton?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Ordinance passed. Next item of business is under D. Would you read that, Ms. Jamie, please?
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance establishing a capital project fund for the Carroll County Detention Center and transferring funds to same. Whereas the Quorum Court has previously determined that it was in the best interest of the citizens of Carroll County to establish a capital project fund for future capital expenditures related to the Carroll County Central Dispatch, including but not limited to upgrades to radios and towers, and to the Carroll County Detention Center. And whereas Fund 4800 was created for that purpose, and the sum of $100,000 deposited thereto, and whereas the Quorum Court now has determined that it will be more efficient to have separate capital project funds, one for the Carroll County Central Dispatch specifically, and one for the Carroll County Detention Center in general. Now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, Section 1, the county treasurer is hereby directed to establish Fund 4801 Detention Center Capital Project and to transfer thereunto $100,000 from Sales Tax Fund 3400.
Move to adopt.
Who's second? Got a second? Any discussion?
This came about from all of the talks going on about upgrades to the 911 central dispatch system. And Cindy thought that it would be more efficient if we were able to separate the funds designated for Central Dispatch 911 from detention center upgrades that will be coming down the pipe at some point. So this is a new capital project fund that will be started with $100,000 based upon Cindy's recommendation.
Any discussion? John?
You had a question at the last meeting, I think, Judge, about some modification would have to be made to the jail to install this equipment. Was that?
It's still on, waiting for answers from the state fire marshal and also the jail committee.
But it doesn't have anything to do with this. May I ask?
Yes.
This is simply to create a fund for future work to the detention center.
So it doesn't,
It's not,
relate to where it's going to be?
no,
Okay.
no. It's like we have the courthouse fund. It can be used for anything related to courthouse.
Anyone else?
What this would do, if we had air conditioner or heating, we had to go out or whatever is reserved, put back for
Correct.
the detention center. And it's getting to that age now.
For a capital project, yeah.
Anyone else? Call for vote?
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howerton?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Swapper?
Yes.
Ordinance passed. Next item of business is B.
Be enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled. An appropriation ordinance changing the name of Fund 4800, currently titled Detention Centers / Central Dispatch Capital Project, and transferring monies thereto. Whereas the Quorum Court has previously determined that it was in the best interest of the citizens of Carroll County to establish a capital project fund for future capital expenditures related to the Carroll County Central Dispatch, including but not limited to upgrades to radios and towers, and to the Carroll County Detention Center. And whereas Fund 4800 was created for that purpose, and the sum of $100,000 deposited thereto, and whereas the Quorum Court now has determined that it will be more efficient to have separate capital project funds, one for the Carroll County Central Dispatch specifically, and one for the Carroll County Detention Center in general, and one to designated Fund 4800 specifically for Central Dispatch Capital Project. And whereas the Quorum Court also has determined that an additional sum of $150,000 shall be transferred thereto. Now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, Section 1, Fund 4800 hereafter shall be designated as Central Dispatch Capital Project, and Section 2, the County Treasurer is hereby directed to transfer thereto $150,000 from Sales Tax Fund 3400.
Move to approve.
Second. Any discussion?
This is the second part of restructuring the capital fund project, so this one now will have $250,000 in it, solely for Central Dispatch 911.
Any discussion? Call for the vote?
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howerton?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Swapper?
Yes.
Next item of business is under F. Will you read that, please, Amy?
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, supplemental appropriation ordinance to be entitled. Supplemental appropriation ordinance amending ordinance 2014-19, the 2015 budget, and transferring funds within departments. Now therefore be enacted by the Quorum Court of Carroll County, State of Arkansas. Ordinance 2014-19, the 2015 budget is hereby amended, and monies are hereby transferred in the amounts and in the manner set forth below. Section 1, Fund 1000, County General. A, Department 0100, County Judge, $364.54 from line item unemployment compensation to line item 1001, salaries full-time. B, Department 0101, County Clerk, $175.26 from line item 1006, Social Security matching, to line item 3199, services and charges. Total $2,213.47 from line item 1009, health insurance matching, to line item 1014, COBRA services. $4.65 from line item 1009, health insurance matching, to line item 1010, compensation. C, Department 0102, Circuit Clerk, $7.91 from line item 1009, health insurance matching, to line item 1010, workman's compensation. D, Department 0103, County Treasurer, $11.69 from line item 1009, health insurance matching, to line item 1010, workman's compensation. E, Department 0104, Tax Collector, $87.51 from line item 1011, unemployment compensation, to line item 1005, overtime and other premium compensation. $10.84 from line item 1011, unemployment compensation, to line item 1010, workers' compensation. F, Department 0105, County Assessor, $24.82 from line item 1009, health insurance matching, to line item 1010, workman's compensation. $3,421.44 from line item 1009, health insurance matching, to line item 2099, supplies total. $1,666.09 from line item 1011, unemployment compensation, to line item 2009, supplies total. $1,314.12 from line item 1001, salaries full-time, to line item 2099, supplies total. G, Department 0106, Board of Equalization, 51 cents from line item 1006, Social Security matching, to line item 1010, workman's compensation. $5.20 from line item 1006, Social Security matching, to line item 1011, unemployment compensation. H, Department 0107, Quorum Court, $350 from line item 3199, services and charges title, total, to line item 1001, salaries full-time. $26.94 from line item 3199, services and charges total, to line item 1006, Social Security matching. $6.73 from line item 3199, services and charges total, to line item 2099, supply total.
I'm volunteer to read, Rob.
There you go, thank you.
I, Department 10108, Courthouse Maintenance, East, $791.27 from line item 1004, contract labor, to line item 1007, retirement matching. $37.25 from line item 1004, contract labor, to line item 1010, workman's compensation. $257.92 from line item 1004, contract labor, to line item 3199, services and total compensation. J, Department 0109, election, $442.06 from line item 1005, overtime and other premium compensation, to line item 1001, salaries. Full-time, $400 from line item 1005, overtime and other premium compensation, to line item 1004, contract labor. $546.20 from line item 1005, overtime and other premium compensation, to line item 1009, health insurance matching. $29.16 from line item 1005, overtime and other premium compensation, to line item 1010, workman's compensation. K, Department 0117, Courthouse Maintenance, East Annex, $46.98 from line item 1004, contract labor, to line item 1001, salaries, full-time. $432.81 from line item 1004, contract labor, to line item 3199, services and charges total. L, Department 0118, Courthouse Maintenance, West, $173.42 from line item 1004, contract labor, to line item 1001, salaries full-time. $237 from line item 1010, workman's compensation, to line item 1001, salaries full-time. $140.12 from line item 1011, unemployment compensation, to line item 1001, salaries full-time. $41.12 from line item 1011, unemployment compensation, to line item 1006, Social Security matching. $26.67 from item 1011, unemployment compensation, to line item 1007, retirement matching. $26.53 from line item 2099, supplies total, to line item 1009, health insurance matching.
You want me to read that?
Please.
M, Department 0119, Circuit County Clerk West, $71.32 from line item 1001, salaries. Full-time to line item 1005, overtime and other premium compensation. $5.97 from line item 1001, salaries. Full-time to line item 1010, workman's compensation. N, Department 0400, County Sheriff, $17,013.04 from line item 1001, salaries, full-time to line item 4099, capital outlays. Total $2,202.68 from line item 1001, salary, full-time to line item 3199, services and charges total. O, Department 0401, Circuit Judge, $5.54 from line item 1009, health insurance matching, to line item 1010, unemployment compensation. $280 from line item 1009, health insurance matching, to line item 1012, other fringe benefits, $120.01 from line item 1001, salaries full-time, to line item 2099, supplies total. $6,403.98 from line item 1001, salaries full-time, to line item 3199, services and charges total. Department 0409, District Court East, $968.08 from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 1009, health insurance matching. $311.96 from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 1010, workman's compensation. $8.91 from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 1011, unemployment compensation. Q, Department 0410, District Court West, $1,742.70 from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 1001, salaries full-time. $124.75 from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 1006, Social Security matching, and $133.06 from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 1009, health insurance matching. $406.67 from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 2099, supplies total. $1,170.08 from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 3199, services and charges total. R, Department 0414, Juvenile Court, $300 from line item 2099, supplies total, to line item 3199, services and charges total. S, Department 0415, Juvenile Probation, $120 from line item 1005, overtime and other premium compensation, to line item 1012, other fringe benefits. T, Department 0416, Prosecuting Attorney, $496.56 from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 1005, overtime and other premium compensation. $4.79 from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 1010, workman's compensation. $6,133.56 from line item 1001, salary, full-time, to line item 2099, supplies total. U, Department 0417, Public Defender, 2 cents from line item 1007, retirement matching, to line item 1001, salaries, full-time. 30 cents from line item 1007 retirement matching to line item 1006 social security matching. $1.05 from line item 1007 retirement matching to line item 1010 workman's compensation. V, Department 0419 coroner, 4 cents from line item 1010 workman's compensation to line item 1001 salaries full time. W, Department 0500 Office of Emergency Management, 10 cents from line item 1006 social security matching to line item 1002 salaries part-time. $173.50 from line item 1011 unemployment compensation to line item 1010 workman's compensation, and $685.76 from line item 3199 services and charges total to line item 2099 supplies total. 44 cents from line item 1006 social security matching to line item 2099 supplies total. $195.50 from line item 1011 unemployment compensation to line item 2099 supplies total. X, Department 0501 Citizens Group of Citizens Court Council, $63 from line item 2099 supplies total to line item 3199 services and charges total. Y, Department 0503 Grants at A, $174 from line item 1105 Arkansas Children's Hospital to line item 1101 Association of Arkansas. Z, Department 0504 Search and Rescue, $1,586.18 from line item 3199 services and charges total to line item 2099 supplies total. AA, Department 080 Veteran Service, $505.81 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 1001 salary full-time. $1.15 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 1010 workman's compensation. DB, Department 0900 Airport, $24.61 from line item 3199 services and charges total to line item 1009 health insurance matching. $28.22 from line item 3199 services and charges total to line item 1011 unemployment compensation.
I'll read. Section 2, Fund 2000 Road Department. A, Department 0200 Carroll County Road Department, $3,348 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 1002 salaries part-time. $1,770.05 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 1010 workman's compensation. $675.87 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 1012 other fringe benefits. $1,033.25 from line item 2099 supplies total to line item 3199 services and charges total. Section 3, Fund 3000 Treasurer's Automation Fund. A, Department 0103 Treasurer's Automation Fund, $2,159.63 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 1001 salaries full-time. $28.78 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 1005 overtime and other premium and compensation. $333.42 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 1007 return matching. $922.40 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 1009 health insurance matching. Section 4, Fund 005 County Clerk's Automation Fund. A, Department 0101 County Clerk's Cost Fund, $55.72 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 1009 health insurance matching. Section 5, 3006 Court Recorder Fund. A, Department 0102 Recorder's Cost Fund, $77.35 from line item 1009 health insurance matching to line item 1001 salaries full-time. $5.11 from line item 1009 health insurance matching to line item 1010 workman's compensation. Section 6, Fund 3018 County Detention Facility Fund. A, Department 0418 County Detention Facility Fund, $14,844.01 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 1005 overtime and other premium compensation. $696.60 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 1010 workman's compensation. $17,120.15 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 4099 capital outlays total. Section 7, Fund 3020 911 services. A, Department 0501 Emergency 911 Fund, $78.86 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 1006 Social Security matching, $221.73 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 1010 work compensation, $7,600.30 from line item 1009 health insurance matching to line item 4099 capital outlays total, $2,204.25 from line item 1011 unemployment compensation to line item 4099 capital outlay total. Section 8, Fund 3401 Variable Library. A, Department 0600 Variable Library, $1,514.73 from line item 1009 health insurance matching to line item 1001 salaries full-time, $5 from line item 1009 health insurance matching to line item 1004 contract labor, $1.11 from line item 1009 health insurance matching to line item 1010 workman's compensation, $1,135.84 from line item 2099 supplies total to line item 1002 salaries part-time. Section 9, Fund 3403 Eureka Springs Library. A, Department 0600 Eureka Springs Library, $6,030.40 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 1001 salaries full-time, $240 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 1012 other fringe benefits, $606.04 from line item 1007 retirement matching to line item 2099 supplies total, $4,428.96 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 3099 other services and charges total, $131.32 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 4099 capital outlays total. Section 10, Fund 8000 Carroll/Madison Regional Library. A, Department 0600 Camels, $50.14 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 1006 Social Security matching, $1,178.59 from line item 1001 salaries full-time to line item 1007 retirement matching, $407.58 from line item 1002 salaries full-time to line item 1007 retirement matching, $5.69 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 1010 workman's compensation, $60 from line item 1002 salaries part-time to line item 1012 other fringe benefits.
Move to adopt. Got it, move to adopt. Second. Any questions? Joe?
This is just transferring funds among departments, right?
Correct.
Oh, I mean,
The cleanup from last year.
cleanup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else? No. If not, call for the vote.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes.
Mr. Spocker?
Yes.
Ordinance passed. Next item of business is letter G. Will you read that, Ms. Sandy, please?
Being enacted by the Quorum Court, County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, supplemental appropriation ordinance to be entitled. The supplemental appropriation ordinance amending ordinance 2014-19, the 2015 budget, and appropriating additional monies to the following departments. Now therefore being enacted by the Quorum Court of Carroll County, State of Arkansas. Ordinance 2014-19, the 2015 budget is hereby amended in the sum of $11,108.67, is hereby appropriated to the following funds and departments in the matter set forth below. 1. Fund 1000, Department 0105, County Assessor, $3,206.44 to be distributed as follows. A, $3,206.44 to line item 3199 services and charges total. 2, Fund 1000, Department 0414, Juvenile Court, $87 to be distributed as follows. A, $87 to line item 3199, services and charges total. 3, Fund 1000, Department 0500, Department of Emergency Management, $618.72 to be distributed as follows. A, $618.72 to line item 2099, supplies total. 4, Fund 1000, Department 0801, Corporate Extension Service, $296.51 to be distributed as follows. A, $296.51 to line item 3199, services and charges total. 5, Fund 1000, Department 0503, Grants and Aid, $6,900 to be distributed as follows. A, $6,900 to line item 1116, Carroll County Airport Commission.
Jackson said adopt, second.
This is
Mack,
something,
second. Any discussion? Jack?
this is something we need to talk about and discuss, because the $6,900 was an overpayment, and we're gonna have to either deal with it or deduct it from their pay this year. I don't know if it's gonna be a budget item we need to discuss it as complete Quorum Court, but we need to decide how we're gonna do this.
Well, we overpaid them last year. And that's, we got a memo stating how that,
Anyone else?
That won't affect our decision on this ordinance here, the resolution appropriation here, but in the future, we do need to decide if we're going to recruit this $6,900.
Any more discussion?
I just suggest that the Budget and Finance Committees pick it up at their next meeting and come with the recommendation to the Quorum Court.
You don't table this tonight?
no, we won't really affect
We can
Call for the vote.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Harrison?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Ordinance passed. Next item, Dennis is 8, would you read that, Ms. Amy, please?
Since this is not appropriating any funds, it'd be appropriate to read this by ballot title only. I'll make a motion to that.
It has to be read in its
Martin,
entirety.
second, all in favor?
Well, not to say it has to be read in its entirety.
Since it's the first time.
Thanks, Liz.
I'll read it, Jane, if you want.
If you like.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Carroll County, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution requesting and authorizing the county judge of Carroll County to pursue contracts for upgrades to the Carroll County 911 central dispatch systems and for the relocation of central dispatch to the Carroll County Detention Center. Whereas aside from periodic system updates, Carroll County Central Dispatch 911 is using software and equipment that is outdated and does not provide a platform for the approximately 19 different public health and safety entities that operate in Carroll County to efficiently communicate with one another. And whereas federal mandates presently and in the near term require a higher level of emergency communication between all relevant agencies in the event of a disaster, the standard that the current system in Carroll County does not meet. And whereas as far back as 2004, during the planning and construction of the Carroll County Detention Center, discussions were had for the location of the 911 call center and central dispatch in that facility because it would afford a more secure setting, but financial concerns resulted in those operations remaining in the Eastern District Courthouse. And whereas plans have been developed in conjunction with proposed hardware and software upgrades to 911 Central Dispatch, to use this time an opportunity to relocate those operations to the detention center, subject to the approval of the Arkansas Criminal Detention Facilities Review Committee. And whereas discussions have been ongoing with the Harris Corporation to address upgrades to the central dispatch radio system and with DCS Communications, Inc. to address upgrades to the 911 telephone system, both of which are on the list of state contracts. And whereas the ultimate users of the system, employees of Carroll County, as well as county public health and safety personnel, also have had the opportunities to examine the new systems and have expressed their universal support and endorsement of the proposed upgrades. And whereas the Quorum Court has heretofore transferred the sum of $250,000 into a capital project fund, specifically for central dispatch and 911, a portion of which will cover all anticipated out-of-pocket expenses during 2016. And whereas the Harris Corporation, potential provider for the central dispatch radios upgrade, has agreed to finance its contract amount, $239,880, for a period of 5 years at the rate of 2.69%, a factor that allows Carroll County to budget the completion of the 911 central dispatch over several budget years rather than all at once. Now therefore be it resolved that the County Judge of Carroll County is hereby requested and authorized to pursue a contract with Harris Corporation, including terms for financing for upgrades to the radio portion of central dispatch at a cost of no more than $239,880, which contract shall include terms for financing same for a period not to exceed 5 years at a rate not to exceed 2.69%. Pursue a contract with DMS Communications, Inc. for upgrades to the 911 telephone portion of central dispatch at a cost of no more than $181,500, and subject to the prior written approval from the appropriate state authority that oversees criminal detention facilities, to pursue contracts for renovations to the Carroll County Detention Center to allow for the relocation of 911 central dispatch to that facility.
Move to adopt.
Move to adopt.
Second. Jack? Any discussion? John?
Well, back to the question that you raised before, I assume that this assumes that it's okay to install it in the
No, it doesn't. It's saying subject to the approval, which we have not received. So we're pursuing the upgrades, and if the state does not allow it to be relocated, it'll remain here, but the upgrades will still go forward.
John?
But I thought your question, Judge, was on the structure of the jail, whether or not the installation would...
Yes, get alive with that. Without that, we're not moving.
So this is all contingent on that being okay?
The relocation is contingent, not the upgrades. The only thing, the way this reads, the only thing that is contingent is approval from the state's standards board that oversees detention centers on the proposals that are being provided to them for what the anticipated changes would be. But the upgrades themselves will go forward.
John?
But I thought the judge's question was a matter of the construction of the jail and the security of the construction, which is different, I think, than what you're saying.
No, I'm not. The state standards board has authority over what happens to detention centers, including everything within the structure, the walls, wiring, everything. They have to approve whatever changes are made to the existing weight room, which would be the future site of central dispatch. Until they do, there will be no contract signed for any physical work at the detention center.
Yeah.
In other words, John, we're going to do this regardless. Now, we're going to update, whether we update it here or update it at the detention center. This is covered that we're going to upgrade the whole system. regardless where it stays here, it gets moved over there. If it gets moved over there, we've got a grant in process to help do that, if it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, we're going to update it right here.
Tom?
Sam, whose department is Central Dispatch? Is it under your jurisdiction or the sheriff's?
Well, we work together on it.
So, the people have complaints
So
of
they're
the
not
sheriff,
one
but it's going to do this to you.
Yeah, I believe it. That's the change, that ordinance. Larry?
But we also, one of the things we're waiting on is to see if structure-wise, and everything, they let us put a door in a certain place. That's only one plan. There's another plan or two that we have looked at if that one is not approved. There's about 2 or 3 different ways we've looked at doing it there. We'd have to get turned down on all 3 of those before we would have to stay here.
We had met with the architect at the detention center a couple of weeks ago, and the result of that was that he was preparing a proposal that would go to Little Rock that would outline option number 1, which would be cutting a hole through an exterior wall, exterior to the lobby of the weight room. Second option would be to take the existing security door that leads into the hallway back to the detention center, moving it back 10 feet. It's also going to involve some additional reinforcement between the top of the brick wall and the deck, ceiling deck, to add possibly some additional wiring there, so that if any inmates get into the room behind, they wouldn't have any access into the central dispatch area. We estimate the cost of that work to be $25,000, which is included within the $250,000. The whole project, if we have to pay for everything, is estimated to run about $475,000. We have applied for a grant with Northwest Arkansas Economic Development District to cover the cost of relocating 911 to the detention center, should that be where it goes. They're on a March 31st cycle end, so we should know sometime in April or May if we've been granted the $29,000 or any portion of that for the move. If not, we are covered because the plan is for us to finance the $239,000 with Harris. 5 annual payments, first payment not due until 2017, so we wouldn't have to look at that until the 2017 budget.
Anyone else? No?
Do you have a date that the guys are to come up here to see if approve it or not? The state detention authorities?
We thought it would have been done already. We're waiting on the architect to get the presentation to forward down to the state. We're visiting with Daniel, who's been in touch with the state people. He described what we wanted to do. He said he didn't believe that, the guy in Little Rock didn't believe that we fell within the scope of having to get a waiver from them. But we said we still wanted something in writing, that what we were doing would not in any way impact the integrity of the structure. And unless we have that in writing, we all agree, and the judge insisted on it, that there would be no contract signed for any renovation work at the detention center. But the time frame for the upgrades to central dispatch and 911 is about 7 months. So if we get it, we get these contracts signed now, it may be done before the end of the year. So there's still plenty of time for the state to do its thing about this detention center, but it will be upgraded in any event.
Anyone else? Call for the vote.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Howerton?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Schwacker?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution passed. Yep.
I don't know if I should wait till you introduce this resolution or after, or say it now, but I'd like to withdraw this resolution until a further date because Mr. Bodengasser could not attend this meeting.
No, table it.
Correct. Or whatever the correct process is, and then I'll introduce it again at a later date.
John?
Can I make a comment on it?
Yes.
When it's introduced again, I would like to see some evaluation of what it commits the county to do, because there's a lot of stuff in it that says the county will, the county will, the county will. I don't know what the impact on the county is. This may be a good thing, but I'd like to know what the impact is before we act on it.
Okay.
I agree 100%, and that was, and I don't profess to be an expert on this particular program, John, and that is what Mr. Bodengasser was going to do, explain the impact. What this resolution does, it basically, it commits the county to a study. That's it. Once the study is completed, then there'll be a line item, a checklist of things to be considered. And then those items will be put in an ordinance for the Quorum Court. So this resolution is for a study to find out what, if anything, needs to be done to adhere to the policies of this insurance program.
John?
Well, the study involves, I would like to have some idea of what that study would involve in terms of resources and to do it.
Larry?
One thing that it will see, if we join Famous Floodplain, we will have a salary of administrator, a vehicle for that person to drive, and an office for that person. There's three things I know that you will have to start with. And, you know, we argued this one time for a long time, like the lady that, she was here before. And I got acquainted with her, I sympathize for her. But if we had this flood insurance plan, she would have never been permitted to build her house where she built it, and she built it where she wanted to. You know, I come from a farm community, and I see, you know, some of my farmers might build a chicken house somewhere where it may be in a floodplain, but it's their land. They're the ones that's taking the chance when they build it there. I've looked at, when we were discussing this before, I went down to the Soil Conservation Office, looked at their maps of the floodplains. I think John's house is sitting right in the middle of the floodplain. I looked at some of those floodplain maps, and that they don't always take into account that there's a bluff on this side and a field on this side. They still went 75 foot from both directions was in a floodplain. And I think it takes property owner rights away, but that's my opinion.
Done.
I agree with about that, because, you know, like in Harrison, when we had that building burned down, Miller Hardware, even though they haven't had flood since 1962, I think it was, we could not build that building back unless we went up 8 feet high. And that'd be an enormous cost to build a giant warehouse 8 feet high off the ground. And then, so that this way, if you get flooded, you don't, you know, common sense tells you don't build the same spot again. You have, the government will make you go somewhere else. And sometimes to a pretty expensive cost. When of course we ran from just Branson area that had a flood insurance, and it's pretty. They take over what's going on in a lot of places.
Yeah.
You know, and I agree with John, and that's the reason I'm withdrawing this resolution, so that we can get more information on it.
We got a motion?
Is that what I have to do, make a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, I make a motion that we withdraw
Do you want to withdraw it or table?
I want to withdraw it for
Okay,
now
we're
and
gonna table
for future.
Yeah.
We need to vote on it, don't we?
No.
It's not the motion, you're second.
Talk about it later.
Next item is JP comments. Jack?
Just on this subject here, these people have got a problem over there. I've got a business I've had for 25 years over there, and I haven't had a problem until '08. It's flooded 3 times since then, but I'm lucky enough I can move everything out of it. But it is a real problem, and like I said, bring it back and look at it again. I know I was involved the last time, and I've supported it because the fact is that search and rescue was having some real issues with propane tanks and hay bales and everything else floating down the river. We're trying to do rescues, But it will hamper a lot of people that shouldn't affect, which it will, but there again, we have a lot of people getting flooded, and like you said, I know a gentleman just bought a place down there, and he can't even expand on the thing, due to it, so we need to look at it again, but it's not gonna be pretty, and secondly, somehow though, the misconception floating around that FEMA's telling everybody that all we gotta do is approve this, they'll pay for everything. And I got 4 or 5 phone calls on it, they give me a hard time making sure we pass this, and that was FEMA's gonna pay for everything. And we know that's not true.
Yeah, and I agree with Jack. I've gotten a lot of phone calls on this, and it's because this is my JP district, and, excuse me, so all I ask is, your consideration, and that's all. We'll put it on arrange with Michael, Bordengasser, get him up here, and I'll bring it forward again and we'll discuss it. He's the expert, he should be able to answer all John's questions.
I believe JP comments is for non-agenda items. Come on.
I apologize, I wasn't here last month, and I'm glad Mayor Reese is in the audience, but I was kind of surprised to see the request for proposals that appeared in the paper this week. I read the resolution or ordinance that was proposed last month, and I didn't know that we would be publishing for proposals for ambulance services.
John?
Well, we passed an ordinance authorizing the Citizens Advisory Board to release the request for proposals.
Okay.
That's the ordinance.
Okay, so it was, okay. It just, the title read, Request for Proposal for Ambulance Service, Carroll County Eastern District.
John?
Just think a little bit.
To bring up, this is a request for proposal, not a bid.
Okay.
And the purpose of going out with the request for proposal is so it gives us an idea of whether or not we need to ask for millage to support the district. After we get the proposals in and evaluated, then we'll have a better idea of what we have to do.
Lamont?
If anybody calls, what are you telling them? What can they propose? What kind of guidelines are you giving them?
It's in the RFP.
There's a complete addendum of specifications that each ambulance would have to have regarding training, regarding equipment, etc. And they have to, the bare minimum have to meet the Arkansas code.
Do potential proposers know that there are specs available? Okay, because I didn't see that in the paper there.
But we do have specs, and it's in the paper, so.
It's not in the ad.
Okay.
No, not in the ad.
No.
Now, it is my understanding that anything the board did would have to be run by Quorum Court before you did anything. As far as the...
That wasn't the information I've got, so.
Well, I just feel different.
No, I mean, I'm telling you what I've received.
We passed an ordinance that gave the Citizens Advisory Board authority to issue a request for proposal.
Okay.
So that gave them the authority to do it.
Very good.
We the Quorum Court, gave them the authority to do it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, in that meeting, I remember saying that let's put it out there and see what comes back. Because we may have people that are willing to do it for the price that it is now, or we may get all the proposals back and everybody say we can't do it for that, but until we get the proposals back, we don't know.
My concern was that what were they gonna be proposing on, and it wasn't clear in the app. They were asked for proposals, the number of calls, 2014 through 2015.
Here's the specification.
You're out of order, Mayor.
Okay,
Raise your hand if you want to. Mayor?
here are the specifications.
Okay. Would you consider possibly extending this if somebody submits a proposal that hasn't seen those?
Oh, sure.
If somebody doesn't call you and they simply send in a proposal
Yeah.
without having seen what they're proposing on, it's kind of unfair.
No, I understand that, and I was under the impression, I was out of town, I was under the impression that everything was in the ad, so, but yeah, I've got the specifications, and I left instructions that they're on my desk, when everybody can, the specifications and the request for proposal. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
John, are you getting much response to it, or, do you know if you're getting much response to it, or?
Today,
I think it may be a little early, but have you?
Mayor?
no, it's going to be, it's going to run in the paper Wednesday as well.
Anyone else?
I do, Judge. I just want to clarify where you all are here, and Mayor Richards here. Am I putting this ad in the newspaper, you all approve that ordinance? Quorum Court paying for that ad? Who's paying for that ad?
We're first, we put in there, we got,
That's what I was, but I wanted to clarify why Mayor was here.
Well, basically, I went ahead and, the word that I got that Quorum Court wouldn't pay for it, I just went ahead and placed it and said the City of Green Forest will pay for it. And if it's not going to be all that much, we will certainly, bite the bullet on it, so it's not a big problem. So, but it needs to get done.
Thank you.
One more thing. If you could see if this ad can be modified before Wednesday, that there are specifications available where they can be had.
Yes, absolutely.
Don?
Lamont, we had a doctor here last month, and he kind of explained the difference, qualifications, and how much, it was amazing, how much better if you got a higher qualified EMS group, EMS, than if you just have the lead haulers, in there, that they could provide, all kinds of medical assistance in contact with, it's just amazing, your odds of getting to the hospital alive.
So Dr. Warner?
Anyone else? Yes.
Just going to speak just...
Yes.
I didn't know anything about this proposal coming out. I knew we were coming out with one at some time. But being that we are a provider in the county, I would sure like to see one before the end of the month, with Mercy pulling out on the 30th and us already providing service. We are prepared to provide service for the whole eastern side. The problem is a place to stay in Green Forest after this date, and I was under the understanding that we would be going to Green Forest at that time. If that's a change, I need to know, because we are setting up to continue service as of that date, and we're going to need a place to put it in.
Thank you, Leon. Any questions from Leon? Larry?
Well, I don't know for sure who this is for, but where St. John's ambulances are staying now in Green Forest, is that in the fire department's building? Is it the St. John's owns the building, the city, who?
Fire department.
Fire department?
Mayor?
It's the fire department, Volunteer Fire Department has the facility. And this, and I figured this would come out confusing people. This is not for the gap between March 30th and whenever this ambulance district was established. The ambulance district is not established as of yet. And this is primarily what he was talking about is, okay, who's going to cover the gap in Green Forest from the 30th to probably 8-9 months down the road. It's going to be a substantial time. So this request for proposal and specifications is not for that period. It's for setting up the ambulance district, and if there's a millage, it's going to be required. Now, having said that, it's a good idea for everyone to look at the specifications. But anyway, I mean, regardless if it's waiting until the ambulance district is set up or now.
Larry's first.
Well, the question I was trying to ask, I guess, is when St. John pulls out during this gap, are you willing to let Ozark EMS if they're providing?
We're not going to let people go without ambulance.
Well, if they're providing for your city, will you let them use the fire department building?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
Now,
all I'm doing.
and one other thing, I had called all the fire chiefs in that proposed district, and they gave me their preference as to who they would prefer to have serving them during the gap time, not after the ambulance district. So just to clarify that.
Jack, I want to see that.
That was my question, because I understood it, I read in the paper, I got several calls that I understood that yourself and Ozark had discussed letting them move in there when Mercy moved out.
I've discussed with Ozark, with North Ark, Southern's called me, and Mercy actually said that they would consider it again too.
John?
I think I better explain the steps that we have to take to establish the ambulance district. The step that we're taking now is to go out with an RFP to get an idea of what it's going to take in terms of finances to support a district. After that's determined, then we will have to pass an ordinance, we'll have to introduce an ordinance to establish the ambulance district, which will include a millage, if the millage turns out to be necessary, to finance that ambulance district. If that ordinance is passed, then, and if it requires a millage, then we will have to go out to the public and ask for approval of the millage supporting ambulance district. And then there has to be a request for bid to go out, and the suppliers will then have to make a bid, which will be a binding contract, which will allow us to come up with a binding contract. So there are many steps that have to be taken.
John? Well, I don't understand, John. To establish the district, why would we need to know about any money just to establish the district? But to find the people coming into the district to serve, then we would need to know how much they need.
I introduced an ordinance that passed 2 times.
Yeah.
That didn't have any millage in it, just to establish the district. A question came up whether or not we could legally establish the district even though we were not asking for millage. And so we tabled that ordinance for 2 or 3 times. So now we're taking an approach to find out, do we need a millage? If we do, then we go through the steps necessary to establish it.
It seems like you're putting a cart in front of the horse, you know. Well, if you don't need a millage, can you just not establish a district?
Well, we still have to pass an ordinance to establish a district.
Yeah, that part.
If we don't need a village, then we don't have to go out to the public and ask for approval.
Nobody's going to come if there is no money.
Pardon?
No one will come if there is no money. They may make their proposals, but if you got no money.
John?
Well, follow me.
I have been, John, and that's what I
If they make a proposal and if we need money, then we have to pass an ordinance, establish it in the ambulance district, which includes a millage. Then we have to go out to the public and get approval for that millage. Then the ordinance supply, or the ambulance suppliers can make a binding bid to provide that service.
Understand.
John?
Do you know, is a millage the only way to fund something like that, or can it be a sales tax?
Millage.
It's gotta be, absolutely has to be.
Larry?
If you make it a sales tax, everybody in the county will pay it. The Western District already has their own ambulance district, so it would have to be a millage.
Chuck?
I believe it says, it states in the state act, it's a millage. Now, that could be changed by the legislature. But I want to just make one other comment, and that is, the last 3 ambulance services that were in the eastern part of the district could not make any money. Okay. Now, there are 2 ambulance services here now, that say, North Ark and Arch-US, that say they can do it without a millage. So, you know, the answer to the question is, that may be possible.
Is North Ark still selling that? I had heard that North Ark had backed up on that stuff.
Well, first of all, they have to look at the specification. People were making that comment without seeing the specification. Now we have a specification. Now if they look at that and still say, we will meet the specification, we will meet the specification, and we can do it with no support, then...
Yes, sir.
I think you just answered the question for us. I mean, it's going to depend on what you guys want, on what we can afford to do.
Sure.
Anyone else? Any more JP comments? My turn? Well, I'd like you all to know that I'm not against an ambulance service in Carroll County. We need one. It's a high priority. Most of the people I talk to are not willing to pay the tax when Ozark has agreed to do it for what they can collect. Right now, if I understand the law right, it's my call. You all asked me to form administrative board to study the ambulance needs of what they needed to put it together and report back to Quorum Court, I believe, if we pass the ordinance. Now, the ad in the paper says send it to me. I can't vote, and I'm not asking for it. I'm happy with Ozark. I think they're doing a good job. And as far as the 30th and Mercy, and I have nothing against Mercy, but Mercy sent a letter saying if they was pulling out the 23rd. I've never had anybody quit me before and didn't stay on the word. I don't understand some of this stuff. I think if you're going to send an ad in the paper wanting bids or grants or whatever you're looking for, you're all the one that asking for it. Send it back to you all to the Quorum Court. That's what that ordinance was passed, stated to do. I'm not upset because y'all don't believe in the way I'm handling it. It's a terrible burden to have everybody's health on your call. I'm glad you're trying to do something that you don't think I'm right on. But I have no problem with Mercy, and I have no problem with Leon. Ozark, as far as I know, has done a wonderful job. I've heard several comments on them. Starting the 23rd of March is when Mercy said they're pulling out, leaving one ambulance at the hospital. As far as I'm concerned, it's Leon's call, as long as he keeps doing satisfactory work until you all pass your ordinance. Also, we've got estimated about $500,000 damage to the county roads that they're looking at. That's approximate figures. The voters asked me to ask you all to consider maybe next month an ordinance for 2 or 3 part-time workers to help patch some of the potholes, all this other added work we got on. If you could see fit, I'd appreciate it. If you can't, we'll do the best we can. But I have no grudge against no one, but people's safety is what I really am interested in, and it works the needs of the people of Carroll County. I love it. But if y'all want to change it, the ordinance read it, you bring it to Quorum Court, not to me. Thank you all for coming. And that's your motion.
Motion.
Martin made a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you all for coming.
I really think
I really